Hello, you're watching World Talks on TVP World. My name is Sascha Fahrbach. France took a landmark step on July 21st by approving a ban on social media for children under 15. Days later, Brussels raised the pressure on big tech, accusing TikTok of exposing minors to unnecessary risks, signaling that Europe is increasingly focusing on platform design, not just harmful content. Together, the two moves mark Europe's strongest push yet to force big tech to better protect minors, but they also raise difficult questions about privacy, age verification, and how these rules can actually be enforced. Joining us now to discuss it all is Jakub Szymik, founder of CEE Digital Democracy Watch. Welcome to the program.
Hello, thanks for having me, and hope you're having a good morning.
Thank you. Well, let's look at these two major decisions here. What does this tell us in terms of how the European Union is approaching big tech? I mean, is this now, let's say, caught up? Is this fit for purpose now?
Yeah, it's we are seeing lots of movement in the EU and by European Commission, especially when it comes to protecting the minors. What we are seeing from the decisions under the DSA, especially around the big platforms being investigated and some early decisions being made on how the addictive designs and how the algorithms impact young users is strictly connected to the policy proposals that European Commission has proposed initially and will be looking to develop in the second half of this year. In the policy proposals that they showed, they want to introduce a pan-European ban on social media that maybe isn't as much focused on one specific age, but is more of a spectrum of a change from advising to keep children from the age 0 to 3 years old from the screens completely and moving into lesser and lesser burden for parents and the company. Children reach their maturity, digital maturity. This is how they are calling this. But the interesting thing that goes a bit beyond the DSA investigations and DSA decisions is the fact that this new policy that is being proposed will be connected not only to the very large online platforms, the social media platforms, the European Commission is calling social media plus. So also it will also include the AI platforms, the AI chatbots, and also the video platforms that maybe aren't as algorithmically driven, but still will probably be covered by the policy that was proposed by von der Leyen's Child Safety Online Panel, which was a group of experts who advised her on this over the last few weeks.
Mm-hmm. And let's specifically also talk about one of these cases, and with TikTok as well. I mean, using the digital services, as you mentioned, DSA, very much using that against, accusing TikTok of breaching those rules, especially when it comes to children, not just in content, but by design. So tell us a bit more about those alleged breaches and why Brussels and the European Commission is being so tough on TikTok.
So this isn't the first investigation that was launched into TikTok, and we've been seeing action by the European Commission also around some other issues, including the electoral content and quality of moderation of content in this specific context. When it comes to the children and addictive design, we haven't seen the evidence that the Commission is bringing forward yet, but people at TikTok has probably seen it, and the lawyers are already working on it. But what we believe might be the most important issue for European Commission are functions on TikTok such as endless scroll. So a situation where you are scrolling through the For You page on TikTok and it will never end because the videos just keep popping up. It might be connected to the fact that the platform's algorithm is very much is very closely tied to what the to what the citizens are doing or what the users of TikTok are doing. And as users, we are not exactly privileged to understand where the content that we're seeing comes from. But it may also be connected to the fact that there is a very strong push for live function on TikTok that isn't fully that isn't able to be properly moderated, given that many of the things that are happening on the live streams. You must also have in your mind the fact that TikTok is a very intense app when it comes to combining the video and audio at the same time, compared to other applications that maybe have a bit more of tension when you're using this specific application. On TikTok, it's a very smooth experience that is using the video and audio at the same time. So it might be seen as more addictive, more impactful towards how people are using this application. And this is also visible in the time spent in the application compared to other platforms, especially like I'm basing this on Polish data. We are seeing that TikTok is the most used app when it comes to average time spent on this app. I am very interested to see how European Commission frames this addictive algorithm in this case, but they wouldn't make a decision like this if they didn't have a very solid legal and research background into that.
Yeah, we're still waiting on that final decision, but at the same time, and TikTok has said, I think they say on their own, they've got 50 built-in mechanisms to protect children's safety. They've also said that there's no direct messaging. But if indeed it is a breach, I think it'll be about 6% of TikTok's global turnover, so quite a hefty sum. Let's also segue quickly to the French landmark new decision. And this will go into effect, I believe, later on in the year, but it's already been done by the French Parliament. But the one snag here is also enforcement and privacy concerns. I mean, we're talking very much about age verification, but then I'm wondering how we enforce that. And there seems to be an additional challenge that it's going to apply, that age verification will apply to all French social media accounts of any age by January. So I'm just wondering how much of a challenge that's going to be.
This is definitely a challenge, and we have been seeing this discussion going on for the last few months, especially since Australia, as the first country, proposed the social media ban for children. And the decision that was taken in Australia was mainly a political signal, a political decision, and they didn't decide to propose to legislate into existence any way of age verification. They just obliged the platforms to be doing this. They assumed, the Australian government assumes that given the amount of data that the platform are gathering on children and that they are suggesting age-appropriate content, and this is something that platforms claim that they are able to do, they will also be able to do the soft age verification based on the data that they already have. We are already seeing the results of this, and this is definitely not a very well thought through good governance approach. Initial data from this June are showing that there is still majority of children in the age that's supposed to be banned that are still using or having access to the platform, and of course there is always this risk that young people will circumvent the rules by trying to use some alternative ways of verifying their age. So the risks for the adult users are also there, and I imagine this is also why European Commission intervened in the French process, in the French legislative process, pointing out that pan-European regulation is being developed currently, and definitely the Commission is looking to propose age gatekeeping that will have a common framework of privacy protection or age verification throughout the EU. As far as I understand, what the politicians are saying, this age verification mechanism will be connected to the digital wallet, the European digital wallet platform that promises to be able to verify the age in an anonymized way. That it will be able to connect the digital IDs, such as Polish Obywatel, into the system and verify the age only without connecting the age verification to other personal data in the application. I tend to believe it, but there is lots of conversation around this, and the key issue is whether the societies and citizens will trust the states enough that those data will not be used by those usually sensitive data about accessing adult content online will not be used by the state.
So it's a matter of trust, digital trust. That's going to be a tough one. But look, VPNs, that's still, I think, going to be the next thing maybe in the sights of regulators, but that's for another conversation. Look, thanks so much for all that. Really appreciate your time. Jakub Szymik there from CE Digital Democracy Watch. Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching World Talks, but do stay right here on TVP World for more news and commentary. Goodbye.